Anybody home?
Hey Mitch, love your site and blog. We just got 2 Canon C300s and have learned so much from you and your guests.
Hi, Daily Visitor here. Just wanted to thank you for all your time and effort put into the site. Planet 5D has become a vast resource.
Hi everybody, this is Tony Toscano, and Planet 5D is my favorite podcast. It gets an A.
Hi, you've reached the Planet 5D blog. It's brilliant. Everything you want to know about photography and video is here. It was here yesterday, it's here today, and it'll be here tomorrow. Come back soon.
Planet 5D. Welcome to anything and everything DSLR and beyond. Planet 5D. This is the official Planet 5D podcast.
Welcome, Earthlings. My name is Planet Mitch, and this is episode number 26 of the Planet 5D podcast. And I apologize because I keep using the same intro, and I keep wanting to get another one recorded, but I have just been out of it so much with kidney stones and all that kind of health stuff that it just hasn't happened. So maybe next week or the week after or whenever I manage to make some time, we will have a slightly different intro. But welcome to Pamela Berry. And I said that right.
I'm not ready to sneeze.
Barry Anderson is also here.
Good morning.
And Barry, you missed out last week, 2 weeks ago, I think now, because when I introduced Pamela on the show, I introduced Pamela Anderson.
Look at that. You just combined the two of us.
Yes, and it became Pamela Anderson.
Well, there's all kinds of jokes I could go there, but I'm going to refrain this morning. So.
When have you ever refrained?
Everyone,
after you got mad at me this morning.
Yeah, now that we're not speaking. It should make for a very fun podcast today.
Oh, it's been an interesting couple of weeks for me. I apologize. Last week we didn't have a podcast because I was just flat out too sick. And I actually have to apologize because podcast episode number 25, which Pamela and I recorded, it just dawned on me this morning that I haven't even uploaded that yet. So I am.
Man, people are going to get 2 podcasts in the same week. The Earth might implode upon itself.
It might. They might. They might go, what the heck?
Yeah, you're telling them about Pamela Anderson. They haven't even seen it yet. They're very confused now. You're throwing people off.
It actually is in my YouTube stream. See, now I'm combining words and I have Ustream. Oh, this is great.
There you go. There's the next $1 billion idea. See if it's taken yet.
Ustream. Well, speaking of streams, did you guys try to watch the Apple announcement a couple of weeks ago? Last week?
No, but everybody on set was.
I was doing something even better. I was at a dentist appointment, so I don't know which one was worse.
So was the dentist watching it while trying to talk to you while you had things inside your mouth?
Even worse, they were listening to country music.
That's pretty bad.
No,
you gotta switch dentists.
Good gracious.
By the way, is that a camera? Is that a camera you have on your ceiling fan behind you?
Oh, it's an old camera strap that I just, because the ceiling fan thing broke, so I just used this camera strap for the. So
so that's attached to the actual light or something. It's not on the actual blade.
Yeah. It's just attached to the light. Okay. The pull string. I've been resourceful.
I think you should do a Kickstarter campaign. I think photographers the world over might follow suit.
$1 million idea.
We've had several.
Well, I didn't want to put the camera strap out.
You're thinking low.
Yes.
Well,
so
anyway,
did you watch it? Oh, yeah, you did. I saw your tweets.
The Apple announcement I was watching. It was a day where I wasn't feeling well, and it was an absolute disaster for Apple in terms of the stream itself, because the first 15 minutes or so were not only was it crashing and you had to restart half a dozen times, so you were lucky if you had the stream, but they actually had interpreters talking over the main announcements that, Tim was talking, and there was somebody translating what he was saying into Japanese or Asian or Korean. Somebody said it might be Korean.
My question is, did they have the interpreter from Nelson Mandela's funeral sign languaging, but he didn't know what he was doing? Or did he not get in on this one?
No, I missed that. What happened there?
Oh
my gosh. Yeah.
Jeez.
They, like, during the official, like, broadcast, there was a dude sign languaging, and he, A, wasn't official, and B, didn't know how to sign language. So it was just a dude up there
making random
hand gestures, and everyone thought it was legitimate. And I'm like, what a genius. What an absolute genius.
At
least that got some laughs.
Yeah.
I mean, that was great. I mean, good golly. I mean, I love it. I just think it's so ingenious that's the sort of thing that makes me still love humanity.
You know, I'm surprised somebody hasn't done a bad lip-syncing video about the Apple announcement or something.
$1 million idea.
Anyway, so what do you guys think of the iPhones? Today we're going to talk about recent camera announcements from IBC and Photokina and other kinds of things. And there's actually a blog post on Planet 5D, believe it or not.
What I think, this is probably the girl side of me. I'm not impressed. My boyfriend, my boss, they're all, anxious to get their new phone. They're mad about the time frame they wait. They're excited about being bigger, but I like my phone. I like it in my wallet. I don't want it bigger. I want it just like this. I know, just.
But part of it, filmmaking community, is the fact that if you get the Plus, the bigger phone, it has image stabilization in it.
Well, and it was funny because with Smug Mug, we got our phone upgrades, and they sent a picture of these people in these baggy pants and saying, if you don't wear these type of pants, you can't put it in your pockets. Well, it's true.
Well, let's be honest. I have yet to see women put it in their pants. If they do, it's in the back pocket. But by and large, yeah, that's the new carrying spot. I walk around airports. I'm like, what has happened to the world? It's like, it's one thing to have a couple dollars stuffed in there, but your $600 iPhone sticking out the top of your shirt, I don't quite get it.
There's a coffee shop.
Pamela didn't even miss a beat. I said, that's not where she puts it. It's like, oh yeah, I put it right here. So
there's a coffee shop locally that actually has a sign saying they will not accept money out of underwear.
Yeah, that's a good policy. I support this policy. I guarantee if I reached down my pants and pulled out money, nobody would want it. So why? I think it's a double standard.
I will never forget. I'm going to change the subject. Well, I'm going to change it slightly.
The first good topic we've had in like 137 episodes. Didn't kill it.
No,
my face is bright red.
I don't think I'm going to kill it.
Okay.
I actually was at something a couple of months ago, and we're talking about girls putting this phone in their bra, right? Up in the top of the bra.
Yes.
I saw a girl, and I'm going to stand up. I don't know if you can see this very well for those of you watching on YouTube and those of you getting the audio.
This could get dirty, man. I'm not sure where this is going. I'm a little nervous.
She actually had her phone sideways over her nipple.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, it was not just in the top of the bra. It was all the way down there.
Did it just drop down by accident, or was she placing it there?
No. There's no way that her bra was that loose because her shirt was very tight, and it looked really funny to see this phone sticking out. I mean, she had to physically put it there, Barry.
So women in general do not want the Plus. It would just be.
Well, we won't travel down that. This could get our PG rating.
Too late.
Our bra stuffing, maybe it would make them look bigger, and therefore they want the Plus. Like extra tissue.
Putting a giant board there does not make anybody look good. I mean, that's it.
Well, I think women are just being resourceful.
Yeah,
just throw out a lie. I like it. You guys have purses and you have pant pockets. So
I do not have a purse. I'm not a purse girl. I usually have, you saw it on other podcasts, I usually have this in my wallet. I have the wallet case.
yeah, but then how do you carry around your wallet? Just in your hand?
Yeah.
That is your purse then.
It
You're
is
calling
my
it a
purse.
wallet. It's a purse. You have a purse.
I'm not a purse girl.
No, you are. You have a purse. It just happens to be your wallet. Because girls put their phones in their back pocket, and that's why when it falls off into the toilet, they're irate because that's where they put it, and that's why they move it up to their shirt now. And I'm like, what? I don't get it. We need to change something about this. Something needs to happen.
Yeah.
No, I learned my lesson about the back pocket last year. Yeah, no. Never again.
So in other words, your phone met the toilet as well?
It did.
Yep. It is crazy. If you look at the statistics of how many women throw their thing in the toilet, it's like, yeah, that's not a good place to put it. I believe that's why we have the new bra strap holders.
I had a friend. One day I was at a meeting back when I was still at Boeing, the old days, or really long time ago. And we were just coming into a meeting, and her beeper you remember beepers?
Oh, we were the original texters.
No. That's when you make Mitch feel like he's 107 and ask him, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I can't agree.
So we sit down to start this meeting, and her beeper is just randomly going off. And it would beep, and but it wasn't the normal beeper tone. It would be just like weird little tweaky kind of sounds. And she's trying to turn it off, and I said, just hand it to me. And she's like, no, I'm not handing it to you. And I said, why? Let me just take the battery out. I'll show you how. And she's like, no, I'm not going to do that because it was in the toilet. I'm like, oh, gosh. Now I know you don't want to hand it to me. Thank you.
Oh.
Anyway.
So wait a minute. So the story was she wouldn't give you it, and it kept beeping?
Yeah.
That was a horrible story.
It is a horrible story.
That was a horrible story. I don't know why you told that story.
I just remember it very distinctly for, the fact that, anyway, I think that was my first experience with somebody dropping an electronic device in the toilet, I guess.
Okay. I guess now the story's at least salvageable. Well done.
Anyway, so what do you think of the new camera inside the iPhone 6? I mean, it's got some great features, right? Does anybody care? It's got image stabilization on it for a phone with image stabilization on the
apps that you already have now.
Well, until I see the results of what it looks like, I don't know. But I mean, the camera specs look interesting. I'm a big proponent of cell phone video / stills. I actually have a set of moment lenses, which now I'm disappointed because I'll have to wait for a new mount. If I do upgrade my phone,
send me a link.
A link to what? My moment lenses?
Yeah, I want some.
They're awesome. They're unbelievable. But it's one of those things where, I mean, I'm gonna be the sourpuss today because we're going to talk about lots of cameras, and I'm gonna keep bashing my head into the wall that we keep getting excited over stuff that doesn't really matter, and I don't. It's kind of, I don't know.
Interrupting you for a second.
Yeah.
We should get someone from Lenses on here to talk about that.
From Moment?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll see if any of the emails I have reach human beings or not.
Yeah, I think that would be a fun show to talk about, especially with the new phones coming out and people trying to get them.
Well, I know that I was reading some stuff this morning, and there was a lot of people who are angry. I just think people aren't very nice because here they go. They make these lenses. You order them ahead of time. They make them. Then a new camera comes out, and people have to wait for them to figure out a mount that will fit on a camera that they don't have physically yet to test, and they haven't had a camera with the lens structure on it to figure out if the lens is vignette or not. And people are like, "Well, why did I buy these lenses?" And I'm like, "They were made for cameras that were out. You can't see the future and make them fit with everything that ever might come out." I don't understand why people are so angry about it, but I digress.
People like to get angry, you know that, Barry.
No, I think people are angry. I think they live life angry, and they just are constantly bitter.
So these
That's
look like some pretty impressive lenses. I mean, they're
Oh,
not just the little tiny little add-on lenses. They're pretty,
they are crystal clear. They're beautiful. They're easy to use, and they're awesome.
Well,
And
let's
I
get them on. I
and
would love to.
I am not a shill, and I get paid nothing for them, and I paid my own money to buy them, and
Wow.
they're awesome.
I thought you were broke.
I bought them like a year ago when they first ordered them, so I became broke after the order had went through, and then they eventually showed up. So I'm okay with it now.
Huh. So how long have you had them?
I've had them for month and a half, maybe.
Well, that's why I don't know anything about them, because you and I were talking about iPhone lenses a couple of months ago, and I didn't.
Do you want me to go, show you them? I can go get them.
Oh, yes.
What,
But have either of you pre-ordered the phone?
the iPhone? Yeah.
I have not.
Yeah.
I woke up at 4 a.m. St. Louis time, so the ordering was supposed to start at 2 a.m. St. Louis time. And I woke up at 4, got right on. Everybody else was having a whole lot of trouble. Anyway, but the delivery date for the iPhone 6 Plus was already out in the early October, so I won't get mine until I think the first week in October.
Well,
Did you order through your
AT&T.
through Apple or?
Well, actually, one of the lessons somebody taught me a long time ago was that on most of the orders, if in the situation where everybody's going to try to order at the same time, Apple's app, the App Store app, not the App Store, I'm sorry, the Apple Store app does a fantastic job of getting through all of that stuff because you don't have to wait for AT&T's website or whatever. And so I went right on with my iPhone through the Apple Store app, and it checks the AT&T and says whether or not you're eligible for an upgrade. And so it went very easily. All I had to do was go through 3 or 4 screens, press go, and it processed.
Well, that's a great tip for other people.
Yeah.
There you go. Listening to all of our garbage got you something. Here's the first nugget of the day.
Finally
Exactly.
Yep. All right, so let's talk about some new cameras. One of the very first ones that came out, announcement-wise, is the Sony FS7. And I'm going to apologize right up front because I keep saying the Sony A7 in my head, which gets me really confused because then I say, well, you add an S to that and we get the A7S. But the Sony F7 is a follow-on to the FS1, the FS700.
How do you describe that? It's the what to the FS700?
They say it's not a replacement for the FS700.
Yeah, no, it's an in between the F5 and F55. So now you have the FS700, the F5, F7, and F55. They're filling out their line. They're being Canon. They want to give you a camera at every price point.
Well, speaking of Canon, they're trying to compete with the EOS line, big time.
Yeah. I mean, it's really kind of a big competitor to the even the C300, right? I mean, in the $15,000 camera. So the FS7 is
no F7.
Oh. Well, no, I'm looking at the blog, and it technically is FF. It's PXW-FS7.
Okay.
But everybody's calling it the F7, which gets really confusing. So I apologize for that, because we're already confused.
I'm saying it wrong. It's my bad.
But isn't the A5? I'm sorry, the A5. The Sony F5, isn't it more than $8,000?
Yes.
So you just said it was in between the F5 and the F55. You're talking about sort of spec-wise, but price-wise, it's much lower than the F5.
Correct. But I'm waiting for them to announce price drops on their other cameras, personally.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Because what happened before all this is someone hacked the F5 by allowing you to basically import text files that unlocked the internal 4K recording in the F5 which was only available in the F55, and people went nuts because people who bought the F55 spent $35,000, and those that bought the F5 spent like 17, and suddenly had internal 4K recording, and that was that and global shutter were the big selling point differences between the F5 and F55. So once you take, and the whole world can deal without global shutter by and large. So really the excuse to spend an extra $20,000 used to be that you could record internal 4K, which now you can do. And Sony, when they announced the FS7, also announced that they will have a certified upgrade to the F5 that you can pay like $900, and Sony will officially unlock the 4K and not void your warranty and stuff. So still, it's less than $1,000. So I think they're going to have to work out a price restructuring, or the F55 will slowly be choked because there's not enough difference between the cameras now.
I had not heard that, so that's very cool.
Yeah, no, that's good information.
I know everything. That's why you have me on this podcast.
Yeah, that's it. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's it.
Not just the hair, man. It
was the Katy Perry video you watched. That's what it was.
Oh, no, we're not dropping that in. We're not going there.
I found a spot. I did it.
That was a great segue, Pam. So, Barry, we heard via Facebook that you've publicly announced that you've watched the Katy Perry and Justin Bieber videos. Why?
Yes, I've decided that every year I'm going to try to find 2 of the worst films ever made and see if I can watch them back to back without physically harming myself.
Was it successful?
I think I killed most of my brain cells, so I can't say whether or not I'm better off for it, but I'm doubtful it is. But for those that wonder why I would do something like that, it's because I have a project that I'm bidding out that not only did I have to watch the movies, but I have to dissect the story structure and work it into a proposal to give to a client. So I had to study the films. I had to rewind and watch things. I had to mark down time code numbers, and then I had to compare and make. It's the one thing that as a child, if you said someday you're going to have to do this, you would contemplate suicide as a young child because you're like, life isn't worth it.
Well, Barry, I think that would make an excellent Planet 5D blog post.
No,
it would make a great one. No, but to be serious though, what have you learned from that?
Well, see, my client has an existing cut of something they didn't like, and then was talking about films like these working. And basically, it seems like nobody understands why they do or don't work. And I'm trying to figure out story structure as to how and why and what people are responding to. Because films like Michael Jackson's This Is It, a lot of that is the spectacle and the legend of Michael Jackson. But there's a lot of these concert videos, and so trying to figure out if someone went around and shot a bunch of video, threw it in a box, how do you cut a story from it? What are the things that seem to respond? So now I'm going back and comparing it with the client's footage and seeing what I can see of that versus what they may have that I can talk to them about, saying, well, if you have this, otherwise we're going to have to shoot stuff or it won't work.
Because that'd be a great podcast.
That would be a great. Yeah,
I guarantee if you post, this is how you break down Katy Perry and Justin Bieber, nobody would read the article. So I'm letting you know right now.
I'm actually thinking you're mistaken on that one.
I do not think that people would click. I don't think your fans at Planet 5D are not going to come and watch video clips.
So this is what it's like. It's one of those train wrecks where you have to just see what's going on. You can't take your eyes off.
I will post it as long as you put it behind a paid wall, and anybody that reads it has to first watch the 2 movies so that when I'm talking about it, they can understand what I'm saying. And I can do 3 questions that I can ask that only someone that had to sit through the whole movie would know the answer to.
I don't know if I can bring myself to watch Justin Bieber.
Yeah. There's literally hours of my life that just it was like I just threw it in a fire and poured gasoline on it and threw a box of matches on it. It was quite epic. So for anybody who's wondering, the Katy Perry movie is in fact better than the Justin Bieber Never Say Never. And no, I have not seen Justin Bieber Believe, and no, I will not watch it either. So one Justin Bieber movie was enough.
Maybe we can find some potential project that would require it.
No, I've already had other people write into me and say I should watch Spice World and and there's a couple other ones, and I feel like.
Well, if you make it into a drinking game, would that help?
No, because I would have died of alcohol poisoning. There's no way to make it through a Justin Bieber movie as a drinking game and survive. That would not work.
Oh.
I will say something somewhat insulting, because the saddest thing for me in watching the Justin Bieber movie wasn't Bieber, wasn't the music. Me being a male, there's lots to not be proud about the male side of the sex. There's lots that could be troubling. But literally, I don't think there's anything worse for womankind than seeing the women in the Justin Bieber movie, because it eradicates all hope for womankind. It's just flat out just wipes it off the map.
Is it their own behavior that they're displaying?
You can watch the movie, Mitch, and then we can talk about it in next week's podcast.
All right.
But it is. If I was a woman, I would literally go and burn every copy. I would make sure it was never seen in the public. I would want none of that seen, because it's not flattering.
Well, then I'm doing good as a mom, because my kids hate Justin. Yes.
Do you have girls or boys?
I have all girls.
Okay. How old are they?
13, 12, 9, and 7.
Well, next year when I have Justin Bieber, we'll have them over and we will introduce them to him so that you too can share in the fun at home.
Oh my goodness.
So let's get
back. So I'm trying to find a good segue for.
There isn't. This is a conversational killer. It's like people just feel sad and want to go drink after hearing these things. It doesn't lead to anything good.
I thought the camera and the bra strap was a conversation.
No, that
topped it.
in the cellar discussion.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
You topped it. Oh my gosh. So let's talk about did we really kill the Sony FS7 yet? It's to be one of the most.
It's a camera I want to get my hands on.
It seems to be one of the most popular cameras that was announced at IBC or Photokina. So
the reason that it's interesting to people, in my opinion, is I have been vocal on two things, and you know this, Mitch. I have been saying that Sony is the biggest competitor to Canon,
right?
For the last couple years, and they are.
I agree with that.
They are proving so. And number two, I've never understood the Canon Cinema EOS line, because the cameras do not have the specs that you need for their price point, and Sony saw that and said, let's come up with a price point that has the features it should for that, and they've been doing it, and that is why people are flocking to the FS7, the F5s, even the FS700, because they have better specs by and large than the Cinema EOS line. And the only two things
I agree with that.
The only two things Canon have going for them is, number one, brand loyalty, and number two, the sensor image is nicer than that of the Sony sensor image. But outside of that, which you can fix with wonderful filtration from companies like Tiffin and some creative color effects, you can work it.
You just took the words out of my mouth. And that's coming from first-hand experience from shooting on the Canon lines for big projects.
Yep.
Isn't the market still primarily, though, Canon?
But like he said, it's that brand loyalty.
Well, no, it's also Sony has had their head stuck up their rear end for the last couple of years and didn't tell anyone that they had cameras. Now that they're starting to, tell people, and there's been a pent-up rage. How long now has the C300 been out? Is it 3 years now?
Yes.
2.5, 3 years, yeah.
Yeah, 3 years. That the fact that anybody who's going out tomorrow to buy that camera is a fool. $13,000 to $15,000 in a camera that's 3 years old, that none of the specs are in the current line. It's foolish. So people right now that are buying stuff, Canon has absolutely nothing for those people who need to upgrade their camera. There's zero. They have no choice. They have to look at another manufacturer. And so everybody that kind of whines that the Canon 7D or 7D2 isn't great. Canon's bigger problem is they got nothing to keep people in the Cinema EOS line, and that's going to be a long-term. Whoever controls that market will control a lot of the bigger market, and Canon's failing.
Well, and speaking of the Canon 7D Mark II, what are your thoughts on that one?
They announced a camera?
Good one, Barry. Good one. Yes, they did bury the 7D Mark II.
Oh, so then they just slapped a new number on it so they can charge you $1,800?
Yes, 1,800
Pretty
bucks.
much. Well, and they're marketing towards the sports photography.
Well, the first clue to me, by the way, about the 7D Mark II is, all right, IBC started last Friday, I think, right? Thursday or Friday of last week. This is Tuesday that we're recording this. Photokina actually starts today. So the two things are sort of back-to-back, one after the other over there in Europe. IBC is the International Broadcasters Convention for
in Amsterdam.
In Amsterdam.
One of these days I want to go there. Maybe not for the
Photokina,
IBC. Oh, wait.
Photokina is in Germany, but that's every 2 years, so this is the...
Right. And Photokina is primarily photography-based. So the key to me is that Canon announced the 7D Mark II before Photokina and after IBC. So they're specifically saying, this is not a video camera, or we would have announced it a week ago.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. How they made the announcement is, whoop, did he die? Okay, he's okay. They basically said, nothing to see here, move along. That was the whole gist of their announcement. And people kept looking around like, did they announce something? What was it? And they said, no, please move along, move along. They didn't want anybody to pay attention whatsoever.
Why do you say that? I mean, I thought they made a fairly big deal over it.
Did they?
Well,
all the people like you did, but I don't think Canon did. I mean, Canon, there was nothing about this announcement to me that Canon was coming out bragging. It was kind of well, we better put something out because we need to, but there was nothing. I don't think anybody inside Canon was sitting there like, oh man, can't wait till we get this in the marketplace. People are going to love it. They're like, well, we'll just kind of move on from that one once it drops.
But they have an intervalometer on it.
Yes! Hooray!
Magic Lanterns had that feature for how long now?
Right?
Yes.
Or you can get a $10 one off of Amazon.
Yes.
Or you can be like me and spend $130 for a Canon brand one. Woohoo! Drinking game.
There's a cash register for the $130 intervalometer. So if you compare the 7D Mark II to the other current market, which has the A7s from Sony and the...
Not fair comparison.
That's apples and oranges.
Why?
Price point, feature set, they're just different.
They're different, or better, or worse.
Well, different, but remember my speech? If it's more expensive, it's better. That's just, by and large, the default answer for most things. So the A7S
I'd still rather do the Panasonic GH4 over...
No.
Yes.
You're wrong. No.
Over the Canon Mark II, the 7D Mark II, absolutely.
Well, nobody should buy the 7D Mark II unless you're a stills guy. That's not a video camera. But no, the GH4... I want someone to come on here and explain to me why people are so gosh darn excited about that camera. Because has anybody bothered to look at the video footage? Or do they just look at the camera?
It's too good.
No, it's not good. It's ugly.
It is good.
It's like a 1992 HD camera from a news station. It's horrid.
I have to agree with you, Barry. I have not seen...
I've not seen one video from that camera that I'm like, yeah, I want to copy that. I'm like, yeah, nope, no thank you. And yet everybody loves it. So
the people that I have talked to are excited because it is so damn sharp. And I'm like, okay, what...
That is good. Do you know that, like, when you have little thresholds for what people should be annihilated if, something bad should happen, that should be, like, a thing. Like, if we're going to save the world on a boat and there's only so many things, you should say, do you like the video image from the GH4? And if they say yes, you leave them here. And then people who say no, it's ugly, they get on the boat. That should be a question.
It's not flattering for older women, that's for sure.
It's not flattering for anybody. Nothing looks good on that camera. Nothing.
There is one thing that looks good on the GH4, and I believe that's lens.
The lens cap? What?
Oh, landscapes.
Oh,
But,
no.
but what I'm saying is I'd still rather have that than buy the Canon Mark 7D Mark II.
And I started by saying nobody should buy it. So I agree with you.
See?
But nobody should buy the
good.
GH4 either. That's like saying would I rather have, I don't know, the Black Plague or polio. See, I don't want either of them.
So, all right, Barry. So, what is your current DSLR
That was my next question.
camera that people should be getting?
That they should be getting?
I mean, if somebody's watching this or listening, and they do not yet have a DSLR, and they want to make a movie, what should they buy?
You want me to give you my real answer?
Yeah, of course.
Anything they can afford. They should be shooting. People should just be shooting. I don't care what camera it is, just shoot.
So he's talking buy the new iPhone.
I would. That'd be fine. But if you're talking about specifically DSLRs, I still think it's a two-horse race between the 5D3 and the A7s.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd agree with you on that. Although it really drives me crazy. I had the A7s, just sent it back this past week, thank goodness. Thanks to B&H Photo. There are several things I don't like about it, but I specifically was looking at it from the point of somebody who's like me, who shoots both video and stills, which is why I want a DSLR, and I haven't moved to like the Sony FS7 or whatever. With Canon lenses and the Metabones adapter, it's totally useless for stills.
It's not useless. You are just now relinquished to manual focus, which I know scares photographers lights out.
Right. Yeah. The autofocus is a non-starter, and there are some people that shoot manual focus. I'm not one of them.
Well, most photographers aren't because you've all gotten lazy. Lazy.
So let's get back to the Canon 7D Mark II.
Move along. Nothing to see here.
Well, it is stunning to me, and I just have to go on my little tirade because you've had yours and this is mine.
I don't think we've ever been so negative on a show before.
Well, there's a lot to be negative about here recently, if you ask me. The fact that Canon has put out the 7D Mark II, and they have put the new dual pixel sensor on it, like the 70D, that's 70D, and the 70D, which has been out for a year and a half now, maybe, has the touchscreen LCD on it. And one of the things that they really advertised a lot when they put the dual pixel autofocus sensor in there was the fact that you could take the touch screen and you could change focus points simply by touching the screen.
I do like that.
And it's awesome if you've used the 70D and you have the ability to have that thing flipped out and you want to pull focus from something in the background to the foreground. It very smoothly moves from the background to the foreground, and it's like you doing a professional rack focus. It's awesome technology. So they put dual pixel on the 7D Mark II, but they don't give you the touchscreen LCD. And it's just fixed on the back. It doesn't even flip out. And that's because Canon still believes, and I've bitched to them about this every time I can talk to them, that flippy-dippy screen is not professional, and that professionals don't want it because they're afraid that it's going to break off. Yet every camcorder known to man has one. And they told me, the Chuck Westfall sat there and told me years ago, we know how to do flip-out screens. We've built billions of camcorders with them. We know how to do it so they're strong, and yet they refuse to put it on their newer professional cameras. And so I have zero hope that when the 5D Mark IV comes out next year, hopefully, that it's going to have either a touch screen or a flippy-dippy out screen because they're afraid people are going to break it.
I think two things you need to check. Number one, I think Chuck Westfeld just unfriended you on Facebook. So
probably.
I think your relationship there was just ended outright.
Canon in general has unfriended me because I was not asked to be on the NDA for the 7D Mark II, and
Nobody was. They tried to hide it. How many times do I have to keep telling you?
I know
There was so many people that had no real information. They did not want this out.
I will say that there are several people I know who were NDA'd, and they feel pretty lucky, and I'm jealous. But anyway, that's a whole other story.
You didn't get invited to the prom. I'm sorry.
That's the first point. That was your first point. The second point was.
Now I forgot.
I'm sorry. I knew I was going to do that to you.
He didn't forget.
It's a 70. It's a 72. Move along. There's nothing to see here.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So another negative thing. What about those lenses that they just announced?
Well, it's not negative. It's just if you want to work with the new autofocus feature, you need to buy new lenses.
But they're not even decent. I mean, the only one I would consider using would be the 24mm Pancake. The others are
the 400mm I'd use. That's a nice lens.
Okay. I would borrow that one. I won't buy it.
Well, yeah. You didn't say buy. You said what do you use?
That's true. You got me on that.
That's a decent lens. No, but like I said, Canon has nothing to talk about right now. This is like the dump. It's like the whole political thing. Here's a scandal. Let's drop it at 10 o'clock on Friday night. People will forget about it by Monday morning. That's exactly what it felt like.
So you're not excited by the new 24-105 f3 to...
I'm not excited about the original 24-105. It's a fine lens.
I'm with Barry on that one.
But it's not like I wake up like, oh man, I got this lens. That'd be like someone showing up to a car show. I got a Corolla, man. Well, it's fine. It works. It's great. It's a handy car to drive around. But there's Mustangs and BMWs around. Let's stop.
I love it when we get Barry fired up.
So what do you like about the 24mm Pancake then, Pamela?
She just likes to say pancake.
It would fit in her wallet, I'm sure.
No, it's in her bra, not her wallet. There are certain words that one cannot be angry when saying, and I'm pretty sure that pancake makes the short list. I mean, can you see someone like Hitler saying pancake? It doesn't work. He couldn't be as bitter by saying pancake. So I think he was a waffle guy.
Well, honestly, as someone who's getting into more landscape photography, I want to play with that one. I want to go out and see what it's like and see what it does. And I'm curious about that one.
Here's a question for you. The Pancake lens, in my limited, I haven't worked with them that often. They're obviously much smaller. But if I have a 24mm Pancake versus a 24mm just regular lens, does it do something different other than size and weight?
My back hurts. That's all I'm about. I'm something lighter, smaller, and if I have to hike up an hour to get a picture that I want the smaller lens.
You do have an iPhone. I mean, why would you bring gear in the first place? Take a mental picture, and there you go. That's really light.
I'm heading out to Arches next month, and I have an hour hike to this one place in particular. And if I could take a couple pounds off of my hike, I'd do that in a heartbeat.
That's a very good point.
No, that's lazy. No, but am I right though that the major thing is size and weight? You're not getting.
Yeah, that's basically the big part. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And this one would also be an STM lens, so it would work on the new 5D Mark. I'm sorry,
Let's just talk about the 70D. That one's more fun to talk about.
Well, I sort of wish we actually had Hugh on here, Hugh Brownstone, who is writing for us at Planet 5D, because he wrote a very popular article for us several months ago about the SL1. And it gets very, very little attention in the market, but he is using that constantly for shooting video because he likes the sensor. It's very inexpensive camera. He actually was able to buy 2 or 3 of them. He sold his 5D Mark III, and he's just really ecstatic about using those kind of cameras. It's inexpensive, and it does.
We can have him on a future episode where we talk about cameras that people are using that no one's talking about. It could be a whole feature.
I like that.
And that could be also true because
and then in that episode we could talk about the 7D2. It would fit right in.
I'm interested to know, and I don't know if you guys had time to read the articles that I sent you before the show, and if you didn't, then you're fired.
I did.
Okay, good.
I did, ish.
Ish. And I have to confess that I actually haven't read them all because...
Good, you fired yourself.
You and Karen and Barry have been writing so much stuff for me especially while I've been ill. I've seen several people very excited about the new Samsung NX1, which was also announced just the other day. It's 4K mirrorless. It fits right in with the GH4 kind of environment. It's $1,500, so it's right in that market. And interestingly enough, that it is, I think, the first camera that I've seen that has H.265 compression on it, which a lot of people are very excited about in relation to codecs.
I think you need to have two sides of your blog, by the way. I think you need the side where people are excited about anything that comes out. They're just constantly excited. And then the people who are bitter about everything coming out. Because it's like leading up to any announcement, all I hear is everybody's excited. Then once it comes out, all I hear is everybody's complaining. So do the people who were once excited just disappear once it comes out? Or did they go over to the dark side once it comes out? How does that work?
You got to realize, Barry, that the internet is nothing but bitching. Okay?
But Barry's just on the dark side in general.
Yeah, I am, and I agree with that. No, but I'm saying, like, people are excited about anything. Like, if there's an announcement of anything, people are excited. I'm like, why? We don't, like, for instance, this camera you're talking about. I haven't seen any video footage from it. I don't know what it looks like. Why would you be excited until you see something about it? Just specs don't impress me.
That is a very damn good point, Barry. You've got a good point, and we might as well just end the show right there.
All right. I finally.
Speaking of which, we're about an hour in, so we.
Oh man.
It's amazing. We were already at 46 minutes. You're right.
But I mean, like the H.265, it's supposed to be cool. Well, how do we know until we can compare it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, just in a vacuum, hearing things, I don't understand why people get excited. I would say that sounds interesting. Like, I would be interested if they made a better compressed video.
Ooh.
That's fine. But the whole excited, like, oh man, I can't wait till H.265 comes out. Really? Who says that? Outside of the engineers that are working on it, nobody should be that excited. It just, you know, you shouldn't.
Right. This is true. You have an awesome point.
This is why we have Barry on the show.
Yeah. All right.
I can't wait till I get to be like 70. I'm going to be like a hardcore curmudgeon at 70.
By the way, for those of you who are listening / watching, we are currently running a poll, which I think fits in kind of well with our current topic. We want to know what you want in your next DSLR video camera in terms of feature set. I don't know if you guys have looked at the recent statistics on that, but I think it's fascinating to see what people are really interested in. What do you think is the current top vote getter?
Well, I don't remember what we all put on it.
There's a whole bunch of things like 4K raw video, 10-bit color space, 240 frames per second, autofocus, peaking, moire, things like that.
What's the number one thing people are asking for right now?
Yeah.
My guess is it's not raw video. My guess is it's not 4K video. What did you say?
4K is currently number 2 on the list.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
With 49% of the votes.
So there's something that has more than 49% of the votes.
Yeah, and this really stuns me. I'm really shocked.
No, I know. I'm trying to get in touch with the masses, because sometimes oftentimes you'll just be like, really, guys, this is what you're coming up with, and I'm wondering if it's one of those.
I'm sorry, Pamela.
Focus speaking.
No, that's 7th on the list, 8th on the list.
I think it's going to be something that I don't agree with is going to be number one.
Of course
That's my prediction.
Is. Really?
It should be something like, better color depth, like 10-bit color versus 8-bit. Something like that should be on there, as opposed to raw.
10-bit is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th.
Well, see, people are dumb. It should be in the top 3, if not the top 5. 7th is no good.
You ready?
Yes.
Higher dynamic range, 13 to 14 stops or more.
Aren't we already there?
Is got 55% of the votes.
Aren't almost every camera now over 13 stops of dynamic range? Yeah, see, that's dumb. They are. I'm pretty sure that I think almost every camera is 13 stops or more.
All right. Barry just called all of our readers dumb. Here we go.
let me clarify. I call everybody dumb.
Well, I know you do. Yeah, you say
I'm very much non-exclusive. It's those few people that strive to not be dumb that I'm friends with. But no, and I include myself in that. I'm an idiot. So this is not. I'm not. I don't put myself above anybody.
You told me a lot on the tour last fall. God, Mitch, you're stupid.
Well, I mean, I thought that was obvious. I didn't know that was
in front of a whole bunch of people too. So
Did I?
Yeah.
That was not very nice of me.
No, I'm joking.
So
I'm enjoying watching the show, by the way.
Does the poll live update then people's responses?
Correct.
Then I'll have to look because I know I gave you some of the things to put in there, and I'm going to look at them and realize that nobody cares about the features they should. But dynamic range is a good one, so I would agree that getting better dynamic range is great, but you know, I feel like we're fairly high as it is.
I am still stunned by the way that 4K has infiltrated everybody's thinking, because I still swear that nobody's using it, but everybody wants it.
I agree.
I agree.
So better low light, see, that's better than 4K.
Mm-hmm.
Raw video is not as critical as 10-bit color space. So if they would just rearrange those, because for sure the camera manufacturers, it's way easier to get 10-bit color than it would be that. I don't understand why global shutter's that high. That makes no sense to me.
Gary's obviously looking at the current results.
The high frame rate should be higher than it is.
Yeah.
Technically, the built-in ND feature should be higher.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Being HDMI, and then everything kind of falls apart.
So those of you who are listening, please go there and vote so that Barry can feel more comfortable now that you know what he is really excited about. So
make sure to pick the right things, otherwise I will yell at you.
Ballot stuffing and Barry, because they get to vote for 5 different things. So
here, should I read it quick and tell you what my 5 would be?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Where's what happened to the thing?
I'll
tell you. Now, does everything that's on here? These are all the questions. I'm just looking at the results.
Correct.
So,
yeah, you can see them. I don't think you can go back. Oh, you can click on vote if you go back to vote.
No. Okay. So here would be, and I'm doing it on the fly, so I'm going to read them all. I would say better low light has to be one of my votes. Either raw video or 10-bit color would take up one of them.
Right.
High frame rates at 1080 has to be on there. I think if I'm going to spend money, at some point it has to have 4K. So I think that would probably, at this point in time, have to be on there, even though I'm not going to use it. But I'm not sure if I could wait another 3 years to not have it. And then I would say probably... Boy.
Number 5 is very
good. You have 2 on here. High frame rates at full 1080. And then high frame rates... Oh, that 60 is good.
Yeah, I listed 60.
Who would think 60 is good enough? That's not high frame rate. That's ridiculous. And then I would say that probably for a lot of people, but I guess if it's on a DSLR and not, I wouldn't say the built-in ND filters has to be in the DSLR. You could go to the C or the Sony lines. I would say, boy, they're doing pretty good. The rest of them, I think, aren't really mission critical.
Right.
I'd say those 4 have to be in there, and then the other 5th one, you don't have to listen to me. You can pick whatever you want.
Okay. We're giving our readers actual freedom to vote.
Yes, just on one though. The other 4, they have to follow my lead.
All right. I was excited by the announcement of the new stereo video mic X from Rhodes, jumping out of camera into other.
I agree with that one.
Did you guys get to see that one?
For better audio. Whew.
Does the price point at $799 kill you though?
I think it will kill a lot of people, but I think what they're putting it out there for is the people who actually get paid to need really good audio. So I think it's the units they'll move is way less than the other units they have, but I think the price point for what it is, the people who see the value will.
We haven't posted it yet, but there's an interview that was done because at Teradek had their booth set up at IBC, and there's a whole bunch of video interviews that they have done. The news shooter guys, Dan Chung and his crew, as well as Michael Artsis, my good friend, was over there, and there's an interview with the Rode mic guys that we're going to post on Planet 5D. So we've already posted the announcement, but I want to show you the interview because I think it's fascinating when somebody's gotten their hands on it, and the news shooter team has been shooting with the Rode Stereo Video Mic X for a couple of weeks, and they have a lot of really awesome things to say, and it's really good to have that hands-on kind of aspect, especially with a newer product. So have a look for that on Planet 5D in the next week. I think you'll be fascinated to learn more about that mic, and I'd love to get my hands on one of these after I watch that, because they're really excited about it. So there's
As they should be. Scott, well done.
Another plug. Scott Emerton from Rode is who Barry's talking about. There's a plug for you, and yes, Rode is a sponsor, but they're doing some amazing things with their microphones, and they have just like manipulated the whole market for DSLR filmmakers.
I would like to disagree with Mitch's words there, because manipulate makes it sound like they did something nefarious.
Yeah,
they did a good job positioning themselves.
Yes,
I'll use that word instead.
Scott, bring my fanny. Yes, absolutely. All right, so is there anything else that you guys have heard or seen recently that you want to talk about?
I think we covered it.
I think we've covered. Oh, I didn't mention the new power shot from Canon. That was for a pocket camera. I think it looks pretty cool. I have not had.
Does Canon not know that people have cell phones? Is this something they've forgotten?
Yes. I mean, with the pocket camera, you have a better lens than you would with your cell phone.
Do you really want to carry a DSLR, a pocket camera, and your cell phone? I mean, if Miss Pamela over here is complaining about the extra 0.7 pounds to climb up a hill, I mean, adding a third camera just seems to just put it over the top.
Well, I'm not. I wouldn't. I have no plans on buying it.
Okay.
Like, why?
Well, that's my question. Like, I understand. Like, I would have loved that camera, like, back in, like, 1998. That would have been an amazing camera.
It's true.
Yes.
Very true.
Very good point.
I'd rather spend money on an underwater case for my iPhone than spend money on a pocket camera.
Okay. Well, we've killed that one. So is there anything else?
You can send the check to Pamela, care of Utah.
And Pamela, I don't know if you wanted to throw in votes for the DSLR video camera poll. We kind of skipped over you. If you wanted to say something there, I'm sure you would have chimed in. What would be
just like little things. I don't care about some of the other stuff, but little things like peaking or the built-in ND filters, or let's see what else. Oh, high frame rates, definitely.
Do you use Magic Lantern at all?
I do. Well, when I remember not to format my card.
Yeah, that's okay.
So that's where I always run into. What else? I do like the touchscreen LCD.
Yay! I love you,
I do.
I seem to be fairly rare in the market, but man, once you get started using one of those, you really have to have it. On
the mirrorless cameras, like the OMDs, they have them, and I've grown to really like them.
Yeah. I mean, you're so used to using your iPhone with a touchscreen, right?
Yeah, you are. And they're getting better with each version with that touchscreen.
Yes.
If you want to see the difference in the touchscreens, my post on Planet 5D regarding the Atomos, the new Blade, it talks about the difference between an older technology touchscreen to a newer one, and I lay it out quite nicely. Because when I was doing the research for it, I didn't know what the hell made the difference, and it was actually pretty fascinating, so I wrote about it.
Nice.
Well, that was awesome. Did we post that yet?
I'm sure you did. I wrote it a long time ago. If not, then I don't know why I'm writing.
I like how I plugged that. I'll take a look at it.
I'm making a note in the show notes here to make sure we post a link to that. So thank you, Barry.
Barry, what do you have coming up in your work?
I'm not watching any more Justin Bieber movies, if that's what you're getting at.
That's exactly what I was getting at.
Well, just had a film of mine push due to some technical problems. Our location that we have to introduce large quantities of water to a basement, and the city won't let them cut the power yet. So electrocuting ourselves was not on the plate. So we're now in a holding pattern. But I have several, I guess, just normal, I guess, work sort of stuff. I'm working on a kind of a hybrid TV show. It's a sitcom that is it's an official sitcom, but it's actually done as a training program. So it teaches technical things, but through a sitcom. So you watch the sitcom, and then they create custom materials around it. It's very weird. It's the first thing ever like this, and so I've been brought on to that production. So I'm working on that. The NBA season kicks off, so I have a bunch of stuff to do with the NBA coming up, and then I just finished some stuff at Disney down in Texas, so I got to catch up on some of my writing. But the film thing will be the biggest thing when and if we can get that going, because now we're starting to run into weather. Because if those of you that don't know, I live in Minnesota, and it gets really cold.
Yeah.
And water and cold are not two things I like to go together all that much.
No. Flooding a basement.
So if anybody is in a warm state that happens to know a dilapidated basement that they would let us flood, please contact us, because I would like to talk to you.
Nice. And Mitch, how about you?
I don't know.
Focus on getting better.
Mitch is going to be napping this afternoon.
That's for sure. But it has been such a drain on me for the last 7 weeks now with the kidney stone thing that I'm blessed to have great writers working for me now at Planet 5D. I am working on expanding a couple of things into other arenas, which I'll be able to announce at some point. And I'm just happy as heck to be feeling healthy right now.
Positive thoughts for you.
That's a good thing.
And same to you, Pamela.
Thanks.
You've had many issues over the last months that we've talked about off and on, and I hope things work out well for you too.
Thanks. But
outside of going to Arches and carrying your pancake lens, what do you have coming up?
I'm helping teach a class at Adobe Max coming up that first week in October.
Oh, nice. Yep, I remember you mentioned.
And then right after that, I'll post a link to the workshop. It's a night photography workshop over in Arches. I get back from LA on the 8th, and then I'm in Moab on the 9th. So that'll be exciting.
Is that a nice turnaround?
Yeah. What'd you say?
The nighttime photography thing, is that a class you're teaching, or are you taking it?
No, I was asked to be one of the guests to help out.
Great.
The class.
Good for you.
That's exciting.
So do you need me to send you any links on night photography to catch up before you go out there?
Yes. That'd be awesome. I'm super, super excited. As you know, I just got back from Photoshop World as well.
That's awesome.
Busy people. Well, let's wrap up the Photokina wrap-up, and let's move on to other exciting things. I want to thank both of you for your insight and insanity today.
Sanity?
It's been quite an entertaining show. Well, yeah, with Barry on the show, I have to kind of lean towards insanity, I think. I don't know.
We'll take that as a compliment.
Sorry, Barry.
I'm the one that admitted to watching Justin Bieber. I deserve it.
That's true. I do not know what we're doing next week, so come tune in next week for the surprise podcast for Planet 5D. And we appreciate everybody voting over on iTunes to bump us up in the ratings. We appreciate that. And tune in next week, I guess.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Have a good week.
I'm going home.
I am grateful. Grateful to get away.
Fine. I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet if you will.
All right, I'll be quiet.
Fine.
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 It's a perfect ending.
Goodbye, dear.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm cutting that off. Thanks, guys.